Okay, hey, how you doing? The band, come on, y'all. Come on, get yourself set up. Come on, Kevin, come on down here. We're going to change things up a little bit today because some of our musicians have other jobs. Of course, they always do because we get the best ones in town. The best ones. So I'm going to just read the scripture, and the band will start, and then afterwards we'll introduce you to the artists, and I'll do my little homily, and you go back out there and look at the art, okay? All right. I'm reading from Psalms 27, 1 to 7. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evil men advance against me to devour my flesh, when my enemies and my foes attack me, they will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. For in the day of trouble, he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of his tabernacle and set me high upon a rock. Then my head will be exalted above the enemies who surround me. At his tabernacle will I sacrifice with shouts of joy. I will sing and make music to the Lord. Hear my voice when I call, O Lord. Be merciful to me and answer me. Amen. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading. Kevin, we're ready to hear you and looking forward to it. Come on, y'all.
Thank you. Oh, shucks. Let's do this first. Y'all are beautiful. I'm gonna take a picture. I see me all the time. Thank you so much for coming. What a pleasure it is to be here. I promised myself I'm not going to talk, so I'm not going to talk for a minute. We're going to play some music. I hope you enjoy it. Yes, sir. And Dave will take this up. Okay. 1, 2, 3. wasn't going to talk that much. This next song, one step at a time. The first song we played was an original composition of mine entitled Black Butterfly, El Negro Mariposa. I love to play that song. Thank you. Thank you for sending it. The last song we played was an incredible Bobby Timmons composition entitled Dat Dare that was written really in tribute to a father being out with his young son trying to tell him what the world is all about. Good luck, guys. The next song was written by Mr. Lee Morgan. It was dedicated to a great friend of ours and a great friend of the arts, and I like to say his name in every concert I have the pleasure of playing, and that is the wonderful drummer, Mr. Billy Higgins. Please give Mr. Billy Higgins a hand. And we're going to play a song that was dedicated to Mr. Higgins, and it's going to feature our own drummer, our own heavyweight champion, pound for pound, behind the drums. Don't hurt him, Lyndon. Mr. Lyndon Rochelle on the drums on this next composition entitled Our Man Higgins. Whether you know it or not, that was really the blues. Yeah, can we have a hand for the blues? Especially to be known that it's a church and that they let the blues into the church. Everybody say goodbye to Lyndon. He's going to another job. Say bye, Lyndon. Lyndon plays with me on a lot of jobs. He's in demand. He's demand. So we're going to go let him go back into the world of the blues and the people and the concerts. And by the way, Lyndon, you're fired. Just say it. That's how it is. You cross me, and that's what's happening. That's Mr. Robert Turner on the piano and Mr. Keith Goodman on the saxophone. And we're going to invite Mr. Robert Turner to use his talented fingers over on that organ. Is that okay? What is this thing called? Okay. Do what you do. Robert. You okay? Okay. Oh, it's on. Oh my God, it's the Phantom of the Bopper. At this time, we would like to do a little Duke Ellington sacred music, if that's okay with you. Right on the intro, right? Oh, I can turn down a little because he's not here. One, two, three. Speaking of religious music, Thank you. I don't remember what we just played. We played a little, thank you for playing the organ over there. That was nice. We played thank you, Robert. I think we played a little bit of Duke Ellington's Heaven from one of his 3 sacred concerts. And speaking of sacred music, we played Giant Steps by Mr. John Coltrane. And then we just did what they call, the kids call it a mashup, you know, where we did a little bit of John Coltrane's Fifth House, which is set to What Is This Thing Called Love? Just know that question still exists today. I just came back from a conference out of town where we were talking about what is this thing called love? Lots of things arose from that conference. As they say, is it a thing or is it a thing? You see, all kind of issues. So as much as that question was posed by Cole Porter many years ago, we continue to ask ourselves that question. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you so much to Lanny and Yvette for putting on such a beautiful event and making a way for so many of us to do wonderful things and all of that. And she's number one. That's why she's raising her finger. She's number one. Look at that finger. Oh, we don't have to. We don't have to play anymore. We can go home. Yeah, because we got to get the artists. It's not about me. It's about, many bigger things. I'll do anything you want. Yes, miss. Yes, dear. That was one of the answers to what is this thing called love. Say yes, dear, a lot, and you get. Ain't that right, Key? Yes, dear. He said yes. He said, yeah. I'm gonna sit over here. Okay. And I'll be ready, but I want to hear some more. And we have some very special guests in the audience tonight. First of all, our most special guest is you. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for coming. Thank you. You're our special guest. Without you, we'd be playing with ourselves, and that's not nearly as fun, I tell you. And I see, is that my friend Kevin Toney sitting over there? That's Mr. Kevin Toney, the illustrious pianist and composer and band leader and musical director, and I think we're kind of in your neighborhood. Is that right, Kevin? So we got you over to a United Methodist Church. Please know that Kevin is very versatile. If you're doing something special, he will visit you at any kind of church you have, Protestant, Catholic, it goes on. The mosque, he's there. And I appreciate him. No, really and truly, thank you for coming out, Kevin. Wonderful. Look for his name. We're going to play one more song for you. We're going to do one more quick little song for you. This is by a wonderful pianist, Mr. Cedar Walton, who's no longer with us. And it was about a special little place that I guess he likes. He never told me that. Bolivia has set me free to see the things I could not see, to feel the change inside of me, to be the person that I long to be. And the love I found there will always captivate. Bolivia, your haunting beat, it comes alive in every street, a Latin paradise complete. I find this music in each phase I meet. The love I found there will always fascinate me. In nature's scheme, with rainbows high and mountain stream. Well, life is really what it seems, and no one wants to take away your dreams. The love I found there will always fascinate me. Bolivia, your love to blame. It burned my senses like a flame. The world I knew now seems so tame, and now my life will never be the same. The love I found there will always captivate me. I'm stuck behind this thing. I can't. You're haunting my life, Bolivia. I need you, Bolivia. I crave you. You're haunting my life. I need you, Bolivia. I crave you. You're haunting my life. I need you, Bolivia. I crave you. You're haunting my life. Bolivia. Thank you very much. Good night. Robert Turner, Keith Piedmont. My name is Kevin O'Neill. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Lanny, Yvette.
Thank you, Kevin O'Neill. Thank you, Mr. Piedmont. Thank you, Mr. Turner. Fabulous. Fabulous. Now, Barbara Nathanson is going to introduce our artist. Don't go nowhere. And then I'm going to do a very short homily. This is what Vespers is all about. But it's, you'll like it. Anyway, here's Barbara.
Okay, we won't keep you long, but I got to introduce this gal because she is marvelous. This artist I first met when we ended up judging a high school art contest for the gifted art program in Santa Monica in the Pacific Palisades. And then lo and behold, like a week later, we find that we're both in the same art exhibit over in West Hollywood, and we've been bumping into each other ever since. And she has a remarkable background, and it was a pleasure to get her to come here. So let her tell you about herself. Laurie Katz Yahia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Barbara, so much for inviting me here, and to the church for hosting this wonderful program. That music was amazing. I really loved it, and yeah. Such a pleasure to be part of the music and the sacred place, because music and the sacred have always been part of my artwork. And you might be surprised to see it coming in looking at switch plates. But really that has always been, those have always been influences on my work. It's evolved from a more obvious narrative involving the sacred themes and even biblical themes to what's now more abstract and minimal, and using repurposed objects to help us or help me explore what is in new and different ways, and invite a pause to be able to be in touch with that sacred ability to re-see things and see what connects it all, and to explore the different rhythms and patterns and improvisations that can happen with the basic elements of what there is. So with that, I invite you to take a look, ask me any questions that you might have. I don't like to talk too much about it either, so thank you.
Oh, make sure you go out there and look at the art. And there's this nice little basket that has an offering sign on it. You can put a little something in it, because that's what keeps this running. Just your gifts, because this is such beautiful music. And I just want to thank Mr. O'Neill. Thank you. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. I'm just going to throw, and you're a baby. You're just a little baby. Look at you, playing that piano like that. And it's summertime. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your dad is rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings, and you're gonna take to the sky. But till that morning, ain't nothing gonna harm you, with Daddy and Mommy standing by. Shut up, gonna take it down. It's hot, it makes you feel so good. Mr. O'Neill is playing his bass, making us feel all deep down in space. And Mr. Turner's playing that piano in the summertime. Take it, y'all. Don't you cry, don't you cry, don't you cry. Don't you cry in the summertime. Yeah, should've known. I didn't expect that. See, that's jazz. It just comes out. I wasn't even planning on that, okay? We gotta do a gig together, okay? Okay. Now I'm gonna have to cut my homily real short, okay? Cause that, you know. So here's the homily. It's about asking for help. Now we all try to ask for help. Mr. O'Neill, have you asked for help before? All the time I ask for help. I see you over there. You ask for help sometimes too, sir, don't you? Yes, you do. And you too over there. Okay. You know, and I find it's one of the hardest things to do. I feel it shines too bright on my soul. And most times, you don't let people into your innermost being because of different reasons. Shame, shyness, lack of trust, embarrassment that what you did you don't want anybody else to know, and on and on and on. And I'm sure you can think of a million reasons why you don't want to ask for help. Usually we let people know our superficial needs, not those deep down feelings that will open ourselves up to being what? Vulnerable. We mask our feelings. People ask you, how are you doing? What do we say? I'm fine. I'm great. My favorite one is, I'm blessed. But behind that mask of civility, we're hurting. We're crying. We're angry. We're lonely. We have a substance problem, or we're worried about being fired or deported. You see, when we ask for a drink of water to quench our thirst, or maybe a cookie to pacify a hurt feeling, a nice dinner because we've been so poor we only been eating at McDonald's, or hey, a wedding ring because we don't want to be alone the rest of our lives. These are all asking for help. This is a quote from Brené Brown. She does a lot of TED Talks. If you guys, I'm into TED Talks. She said, found through her research that women tend to feel shame around the idea of being never enough at home, at work, in bed, never pretty enough, never smart enough, never thin enough, never good enough. And while men, on the other hand, tend to feel shame around the fear of being perceived as weak, or more academically, fear of being called a pussy. Both sexes get trapped in the same box for different reasons. If I ask for help, I am not enough. If I ask for help, I am weak. There's no wonder so many of us don't bother to ask. It is too painful. That's the end of her quote. See, we think strong people and successful people, they don't need help. It's only the weak ones, the slow-thinking people who need help. That is so untrue. We all need help, starting first with our mothers helping us to tie our first pair of sneakers. We need each other. You know, I love when I spend time with my girlfriends. Some of my girlfriends are here, and we discuss our lives. Sometimes they do have the right answer to the questions that I asked. And sometimes we skirt around the heavy issues and talk about the weather or the movies. Now that I'm considered elderly, it burns me that this youth-based society does not appreciate the wisdom of the elderly. Asking the elderly for help is a godsend. The wisdom of the elderly is gold mine just waiting to be dug up. If you're ill, your house burns down, your husband leaves you, and on and on and on. Who is strong enough to live through all those heavy blows but the elderly? When nothing and no one can help lift the heavy burden that you carry or I carry, yeah, I give up and I go to the movies. I sit there 2 hours being transported into another world, and it gives me a break from my worries. But they come back in full force as soon as the credits roll. Oscar Wilde wrote, "Come down, O Christ, and help me. Reach thy hand, for I am drowning in a stormier sea than Simon on thy lake of Galilee. The wine of life is spilt upon the sand. My heart is so famine, murdered land, whence all good things have perished utterly. And I know my soul in hell must lie, if this night before God's throne should stand." Have you ever felt so low that you pray? Now, I took to found that when I don't get help to solve my problems, I go to the source that accepts me. No, not my husband, and not my dogs and my cats. I go to God. I pray. I pray all the time. Normally, I pray. But when my seas are really getting tossed, and my prayers, they get deeper and deeper, just like Oscar Wilde's. Sometimes my pleas are answered fast, but sometimes I gotta wait a long time. And sometimes I can hear the answer from a passing stranger, just an utterance. You know, I have a cousin, Martha, who's turning 90, and she prays for me. And I know that her prayers work. You know, so sometimes when our preacher says, pray for those people up on the wall, pray for them. Because your prayers do work for others, and sometimes for yourself too. It doesn't matter how you ask for help, a poem, a prayer, a song, a meditation, a mantra, whatever way you do it, afterwards, I want to say something, always give thanks. You want to give thanks. Thanks is an acknowledgement that you are grateful for what you have, and your plea or your circumstances has been heard. And I know that we all need help sometimes. That's the end of that one. But that's a truth for sure. I want to thank Kevin O'Neill and his orchestra, his band. Please, sir, come back and join us again. And you take time out there with the artists. And Dusty and Adrian and Barbara, we could not put this together without you. And we could not put it together without Lanny, wherever he is. He floats around. He didn't even know I was going to sing. We were going to sing something else. And I want to tell you, our next Vespers is August 11th at 6 p.m. And thank Barbara Nathanson for keeping the art. Please spend time with the artists. We get the best artists in town, the best musicians. And come back on August 11th at 6 p.m. The Idiomatic, they are going to be playing. And I want to tell you a little surprise. Somebody backed out in September, and I'm going to be singing, and I'm going to do some Nina Simone. So I want to see all of y'all back here and bring some friends, okay? Because my girl Nina, you know, okay. All right, and I want to thank you for coming. And can we all, I'll get to the page too and do our benediction. Can we stand up and just say, it's on page 2, and you all know this because you went to summer camp. May the Lord watch between you and me while we're absent one from another. God bless every last one of you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the wonderful music. Thank you. And I want to sing again, too. Okay? Thank you for coming. When you going to play for us? I'll come over and talk to you in a minute. And hold it, Barbara's got something to say.
Any of you who want me to send out notices to you of the next, each of the Jazz Vespers and who's going to be performing and who the visual artist is, please fill out a card down there with your email address and I'll send it to you. Thanks.